From what I've gathered, this hosepipe ban that has been initiated in July 2018 in the United Kingdom, this great country of ours, does not spread nationwide. So let's take a look at a few more details of what this means for you in London, England, and across the country.
Next on Raheem Reports.
Sarah C. Nelson of HuffPost UK on 10th of July wrote, UK weather, heatwave dries up reservoirs amid warnings of hosepipe ban. The UK's heatwave has caused reservoirs in northwest of England to dry up, prompting fears a hosepipe ban could be imposed, and it certainly has been. The spell of hot weather, the longest in 5 years, is finally being tempered by fresher conditions as a cool front sweeps in from the north. Well, that was slapped in the face by a hot front from the south. But as the mercury climbed ever higher last week, hitting 32.4 degrees Celsius on Sunday, water levels have been receding amid exceptional demand. Wayoh Reservoir near Manchester provides up to half of Bolton's water. For those of you that don't know Manchester, that's northern England, but was left virtually empty as the heat wave ate into supplies. We can all do our bit to save water and help to avoid a hosepipe ban. Not using garden sprinklers and hosepipes will save a huge amount of water and help keep #Northwest taps flowing this summer for everyone. Find more #water saving tips here. A spokesperson for supplier United Utilities said the prolonged hot weather means the region's reservoir stores have decreased since last week, with some reservoirs looking more dramatic than others. The reducing reservoir levels are not surprising given the ongoing lack of rainfall and exceptionally high demand. We are managing resources carefully, and our integrated network, which we have invested heavily in, does give us the flexibility to move water around the region to reduce demand on those sources which are lower. We are still encouraging our customers to voluntarily use water efficiently by avoiding the use of water-hungry devices, particularly outside in the garden. However, if demand does not reduce in the next few days, we'll have no choice but to introduce enforced restrictions, which are now in place. I assume. We'll read that later on. If you're washing your fruit or veg, pop the plug in and save it in the sink to reuse in the garden. And help us to make sure there's plenty of water to go around this summer. Share your tips too. #water saving tips, #2018 waterwatchpic.twitter.com. United Utilities @United Utilities. As the lovely hot weather continues, some of the northwest reservoir stores have been dropping. Here's what we're doing to help keep taps flowing. Please use water wisely and check out our #water saving tips. Okay, let's take a look, because they keep saying check out our water saving tips. So let's take a look at our water saving tips. Hosepipe ban set to come in from August. We're in July and they're talking about hosepipe ban now. Lack of rain and increased demand for water means that our reservoirs are now lower than we'd like for this time of year. That's why a hosepipe ban will be introduced across the northwest on 5th August. Okay. And you can go there and read that for yourself. I'll put the link in the description. Let's continue with this story, shall we? According to the BBC, supplies from Wales, the Lake District and Pennines are being drawn up to ease the shortage. The company's Twitter feed is urging customers to use water sparingly and is acknowledging many addresses are experiencing either no water at all or very low water pressure. A nationwide hosepipe ban came into effect in Northern Ireland on Friday, which should really bugger up the police that keep bullying the Irish because they like to hose people down. The ban will run until the end of the month and prevents the public from using garden hoses, with a few exceptions. People are not allowed to use a hosepipe to water their garden, wash their car or private boat. Private boats, eh? They've got the money to store water then. And they should also have the sense to help other people out by following these instructions, or to fill or maintain a swimming or paddling pool, a pond or fountain. All these luxuries, I'm going to get cut off. They are, however, allowed to water their garden plants with a watering can. Those found in breach of the ban, which is the first time Irish Water has imposed a nationwide stoppage, could face a fine of €120. Look, if they have a bloody yacht or a boat, and they're used to going fishing and sailing to the coast of France and other exotic destinations, €120. That's like an ice cream and some beer for them. Let's see. What else can we find here? UK weather. Heat wave dries up reservoirs amid warnings of hosepipe ban. Hosepipe ban 2018. What happens if you use your hose? Can you be fined, and how? I think I just read that out, but that was in Ireland. Let's see where else. This story brought to us by The Sun. High and dry, hosepipe ban 2018. What happens if you use your hose? Can you be fined, and how do you report it? Snitch away. United Utilities has imposed a hosepipe ban covering 7 million households. My good Lord, that's a lot of water. By Felix Allen, 18th July 2018. The Sun explains hosepipe ban 2018. 7 million households will be hit by Britain's first hosepipe ban for 6 years, which comes into force on August 5th. Here's what the law says you can and cannot do, and what happens if you get caught. United Airlines has imposed a hosepipe ban after water levels in the northwest ran low in the heat wave. What are the rules during a hosepipe ban? Temporary use bans, as they are officially called, make it illegal for householders to do any of a list of restricted activities. Old laws relating to hosepipe bans covered only watering gardens and washing cars. Now water firms are given greater powers to restrict usage under the Flood and Water Management Act 2010. And as they said 6 years ago, 6 years ago was 2012. So the ban or the act had already been enforced for 2 years at that time. A separate law applies in Northern Ireland, which covers England, Wales and Scotland. A separate law applies in Northern Ireland. In Great Britain, water suppliers can ban any or all of these 11 activities. Here we go. Number 1, watering a garden using a hosepipe. The definition of garden includes allotments, parks, grass verges, and sports fields. Number 2, cleaning a private motor vehicle using a hosepipe. Number 3, watering plants on domestic or other non-commercial premises using a hosepipe. Number 4, cleaning a private leisure boat using a hosepipe. I'm sure if it's a yacht, that will use up the rest of the region's supply. Number 5, filling or maintaining a domestic swimming or paddling pool. What if you want to swim in a bucket and keep your feet cool? You're going to jail, mate. Number 6, drawing water using a hose pipe for domestic recreational use. Example, water slides. Number 7, filling or maintaining a domestic pond using a hose pipe, except fish ponds. Number 8, filling or maintaining an ornamental fountain. Number 9, cleaning walls or windows or domestic premises using a hose pipe. Our window cleaner won't have any problems with that because he uses his soap, he uses his nice little glide and slide, takes off the soap and then wipes it down with a cloth. Doesn't need any extra water. Number 10, cleaning paths or patios using a hose pipe. And number 11, cleaning other artificial outdoor surfaces, example decking, using a hose pipe. Now what I'd like to know is how people are going to get their cars washed at these private car washes. You know where they turn up? I think I've got a video of that actually. It's quite good. Oh yes, I did get my car washed. So I'll see if I can find that as well, put that up on the screen. If not, never mind. But the point is, how do you now get your car washed? You have to do it yourself. You're going to put those people out of business. I'd like to hear your comments. If you're interested in commenting, comment below the video. The rules can be confusing. You are allowed to top up a garden pond if you keep fish in it. And fountains are allowed if they provide oxygen for a fish pond. Now, here's the thing that some clever buggers might do. They might buy some goldfish from a pet store, put it in a swimming pool and jump in with them. So now they can swim around just like a fish, and just before they get arrested they'll say, look, I've got 2 goldfish in there, this is not fair. There are also exceptions for health and safety reasons. For example, if it is necessary to clean a footpath so it is not unsafe, not just to keep it tidy. Motorists can still clean their cars with a bucket, and gardeners can use a watering can to help keep plants happy. Sprinklers are not allowed. So all you lot in Chigwell with your mansions and your mega mansions and your half the size of Buckingham Palace allotments, that one's for you. It is generally accepted that watering cans and buckets can be filled with a short length of hose connected to the tap. Water companies can limit any of the 11 activities above for as long as they think necessary in times of shortage. The bans can be enforced 24 hours a day or only at set times and may apply only in certain districts. Now this is something for those liberal buggers in Parliament to get off their backsides and go into these other communities, quote unquote, and seek out the help of these Ogun-centered voodoo practitioners. Get them to make it rain. Then again, go to some, quote unquote, Native Americans, get them to dance in a circle. What are you waiting for? I mean, look at the pictures. Look how dry this ground is. This looks like a certain person's ashy head that just got out of a bath and didn't bother to use their beeswax or Dax. It's terrible. Look, it looks like a, well, dare I say, third world nation. What has happened? I said the word before, I'll say it again. Judgment, 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 judgment. The bans can be enforced 24 hours a day or only at set times and may apply only in certain districts. Suppliers can also make exemptions as they see fit. For example, during the hosepipe ban in 2012, frail and elderly gardeners were allowed to use hosepipes if they could not use a watering can. Sales of elderly costumes and masks at eBay are going through the roof. Check with your water supply company. Check with your water company for the full rules and any exemptions in your area. Suppliers are required to give advance notice before imposing a temporary use ban, including ads in at least 2 local papers setting out when and where restrictions apply. Let's read that again. Suppliers are required to give advance notice before imposing a temporary use ban, including ads in at least 2 local papers setting out when and where restrictions apply. Oh, that's quite good. What happens now if you are caught breaking a hosepipe ban? Water companies have the power to prosecute any householder who is caught flouting a temporary use ban. Guilty gardeners can be summoned to a magistrate's court and fined up to £1,000. I can hear my countrymen now. I knew it. It's all about the money. Well, it's a little bit about the water as well. But I still think the voodoo thing, that'll work. I'm not going to do it. I don't practice that stuff. In practice, water companies are likely to send warning letters and will only prosecute in the most serious cases. They say most people are happy to comply with the rules because they help conserve water for everybody. Northern Ireland water, hold on a second. I do remember they were having problems earlier in the year, someplace in northern England again, where emergency services, military and fire brigade personnel had to go into these small little English villages and distribute bottles of water, as people had no electricity, they had no heat, they had no fans to cool them, because when the electrical energy goes off, when the grid goes down, when the phases in the street overheat and burst, spontaneously combust, and people can't switch on a light or do anything else, civilization stands still. I don't think people realize how important electricity is to the functioning of everyday life. It really is something, because I remember a few years ago when my electricity went out, it's like, I might as well just go and do some exercise or actually get a book and start reading again. Electric energy allows us to distract ourselves with all these mod cons, but if we haven't prepared for when that electricity goes out, it's literally like the end of the world. I see people come out looking in my direction like I did it. It wasn't me, mate. It's the weather. Now, where was I? Northern Ireland Water said it received 200 tip-offs in the first week after a hosepipe ban came into force on June 29th. Snitch! But what can I say? They did the right thing, because if they didn't do that, it would affect your water supply as well. So there's some people that just don't care. So if you get the opportunity to let people know that somebody is flouting the rules, you should. Because you see the pictures. Let's scroll up again. F-stop press. Look at the ground. And people don't care. They're still going to flout it. Okay then. You should get fined. Around 140 alleged breaches were followed up and people were given advice, but no one has been prosecuted so far. Do they have the complexion for the protection? I wonder. Northern Ireland, or NI Water, said staff had received an excellent response and further action was not required. Okay. During the last hosepipe ban in 2012, covering 20 million households, water firms said they would not send out spies to check if people were using too much water. No, you don't have to. Why? Because you've wired every other street for sound and video footage. So you can just have someone sit in a nondescript location, pan, tilt, zoom, there they are, and send out a warning letter. So you don't need spies because you've already got them. Instead, they relied on neighbors to report when they saw anyone breaking the rules. And they've got airplanes that take topographical pictures to help Google Maps and all these other map drawers. When new roads and buildings are added, they have to add those to the updated maps. So that's a spy plane in essence. How do you report neighbors? Or, in other words, translation, how do you snitch on the suckers next door if you see them using a hosepipe? Water companies want you to let them know if you see anyone you think is flouting a hosepipe ban. United Utilities is the first supplier in Great Britain to bring in restrictions since 2012. The ban will apply to 7 million households in the northwest of England from August 5th. Demand has almost doubled in the last week, with billions of litres of water being used on a daily basis by gasping homeowners. United Utilities Director, hold on a second. That always makes me laugh. The heat goes up, water consumption increases, but people go out and stop with the ice cream man. Now here's the thing, when you eat these sweet fatty products, they don't cool you down. It just cools down the lips and the tongue temporarily, and then your body has to work twice as hard to keep itself cool as it raises its body temperature to burn the sugar and fat that you've just put into your body. Why don't you just drink water?
Yeah, I want an ice cream.
Alright, then have it your way. Burn, baby, burn. Demand has almost doubled in the last week, with billions of litres of water being used on a daily basis by gasping homeowners. Oh, and I'll add, people then go and buy alcohol, which further increases the temperature raising of your body, because now your body's trying to get those toxins out and it has to work slightly harder. Go figure. Anyway, United Utilities Director Martin Padley said, unless we get a period of sustained rainfall, wash away those ice creams, before August 5th and dilute those beers. These restrictions will help us safeguard essential water supplies. If you want to report a neighbour, contact the water firm. You can also apply for an exemption if you have a good reason why you need to use a hosepipe. Yeah, spray at my neighbours for looking at what I'm doing in my garden. I think they're about to report me. Other firms have asked customers to use less water, but have not yet announced bans. On June 28, Southern Water asked people to spend no longer than 4 minutes in the shower. Some people don't even shower, so you don't have to worry about them. But this was a very good article. I was entertained reading it. Share this news story with as many people as you can. Share the love. Spread the love. Share this article with as many people as you can. And remember, free news, baby.